So, good Friday. You're listening to Breath Play Happy Hour. Our intention is for you to learn and practice how the breath can guide you to wake up, let go, and shift your success and happiness in life, love, business, sports, and beyond. I'm your host, Roberto Suarez, better known as the Happy Coach. So let's take a deep breath before we get going. So we inhale through the nose for like 3 seconds, relax and let go through the mouth. Let's do that one more time. Inhale through the nose, hold it, relax and let go. So by relaxing, we're going to transform your life today. With me today, I have Sula de Paula, better known as Jewelle, a good friend of mine. And Sula is the creator of Healing Peace Coaching. She lives in Delray Beach, Florida, where she teaches classes and guides therapeutic sessions. Jewelle's latest adventure was creating an institute, a holistic program for Mandala Healing Center in Palm Beach. And she works as an intuitive breathing teacher, a breath coach, seminar leader, and access bar facilitator. She's also created a really great CD called Breathwork Meditation or a breath of consciousness. So, and she was my first breath play or breathwork coach, and I love her very much. And welcome to Breath Play Happy Hour.
Yay! Thank you, Roberto. Thank you. It's so nice to be here and see you and have a conversation about my favorite topic, which is breathwork.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me more about how did you get into breath work? How will you define breath work? Based on your experience.
Oh, okay. So the first question is how I got into breathwork. Was I was not looking for it. I was not feeling happy in my life and not satisfied and just feeling like I inadequate and I didn't fit in and all of those uncomfortable feelings, but I didn't know what to look for, how to help myself. I was already doing a lot of yoga and meditation. I was married to a yoga teacher and still I couldn't settle in my body. So it was a friend who moved from New Jersey, and he introduced it to me and as a private session. And it was then that I realized how many walls I had and how powerful that work was. And so that was my introduction to private sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, like a couple of years before that, I had gone to a group breath work that was happening in Boynton Beach, and I did not like it. I felt, uncomfortable, and I forgot about it. It wasn't until that day that I realized what I did 2 years before was breath work. So I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready 2 years prior to that session. And then from that private session, which only lasted 20 minutes,
Oh, wow.
because I was so controlling and uptight, that I couldn't let go. And so it was then that I realized I needed to dive deep into this modality. And I signed up to the 9-month program in Philadelphia.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, so that's great. That, like, the controlling part, right? Like, I had the, kind of like the same thing. I remember I did like 10 sessions with you because I started with a group session which you led,
Yeah.
at the time I was doing Tai Chi, so I got a lot of energy and I go, wow, this is really good stuff. And then I got into the private, but I I couldn't stay awake. Remember I would fall asleep all the time. My ego would just shut me down, so
Yeah.
that's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
so from there, what happened? Like,
Well, from there, I really, I'm a very good student when I choose to be, and I really surrendered to my teachers and to the program in Philadelphia. and I felt embraced and safe with them. And the whole program was, so comprehensive and so deep. And it was it was very challenging the first couple of months because it was the heaviest, the dense, really diving into very uncomfortable areas. But after the third month, I started to get my head out of the thick air, and start to understand what was actually going on and start to feel some freedom. And in my sixth month in my program, I started teaching right away.
Mm.
So I started teaching in Delray Beach, the group Breathe, every month at the center, yoga center in Delray Beach. And that's how I started teaching, right? 6 months into my program, I started facilitating. And then from there, I graduated from the 9-month program, met Sandra Ray, and then I dove deep into the loving relationships training right away after that.
Oh, okay. And and you started. Who were your customers like? And not who they were. Who are your main clients that come to you, and the main issues that they come to you for?
Well, back then it was a different clientele
Mm,
because, back then most of my clients were yoga teachers and
mm,
friends, in the community from yoga centers. That was primary my clientele in yoga teachers and people in the holistic world.
mm,
Um, and I really love saying this because I think it says a lot about the work. Like most of my clients back then when I started, like most of them became breath workers. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the core group that I had back then, early, that was 2004,
Mm.
they most of them became breath workers and continued in breath work. And I just love saying that because it says a lot about the work. um, but today my clientele is very different.
Mhm. Well, I was one of those guys. So like, I was like a business coach, and I started using more and more. Dove into it more and more and more, and then eventually it's like the breath kind of takes you over because it's so powerful. And how you can support others. So yeah, that's so. What would be like if you were talking to somebody that's coming in, into like wants to learn more about breath work, what would you suggest to them? What would you say to them?
Well, I think, one of the key elements in the beginning is the vulnerability.
Mm,
Vulnerability is a key element in this work, and that's why it's so important to find the breathwork teacher or the coach that you feel safe with. Because if you don't feel that safety and that container that you can say whatever you want and that you can cry and do throw a tantrum or have a breakdown, if you don't feel that you can do that, then you can't go anywhere. So vulnerability, the sooner you can establish that safety with your coach and
mm.
allow yourself to be vulnerable, the faster the process is going to be.
Oh. And how did you get? So what's this? Can you tell us more about the Heavenly Peace coaching?
Heavenly Peace Coaching came about. It's recent, actually. It's a new business name. I it used to be called A Touch of Consciousness, and the beginning of this year, um, I realized a lot of things about my dharma and like the energies that I bring into the planet and into my sessions. And it also has to do with my name, which is all connected to peace. So my primary goal is peace. My secondary is freedom
Mm,
and unity. So I just kind of like put everything together into a name that would embody the energy that I bring in to my clients and my vision. So Heavenly Peace Coaching. And bringing heavenly peace into earthly bodies is my tagline. So that's my intent in every session, is to channel heavenly peace, bring down light and energies that are more refined, and bring it into the density of this dimension and into the body.
Well, and you mentioned there peace and then freedom, right? Was that the second thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what I get of doing this work is being able to have the freedom to just let go, to breathe. So the more you breathe, the more freedom you got to flow, to connect, to do everything. And that's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. And
Peace,
go ahead.
freedom, and unity.
And the unity is to unite, integrate all the energies into your consciousness, spirit, everything, just integrating. Is
Yeah.
that what you mean by unity?
Integration, yes, but also beyond that is getting to the point where you can see more how similar we are, as opposed to how different we are. So it's bring
Uh,
unity,
Powerful.
unity consciousness, and yeah, just breaking down the walls that separate us.
Yeah, that's awesome. And 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 do you do now? Do you still do private sessions, or you do more group work? I see that you do some. You got some other tools that you use to support others. And
Yeah.
how do you tie that into your business, and how do you support people like what?
Definitely. I love all the tools that I use, and I use them all the time. Um, so I teach groups. Right now I'm teaching groups in rehab centers, in centers for rehabilitation and substance abuse. So
Mhm.
most of my groups are not public, um, but sometimes I run, classes on Zoom and things like that for everybody. So my group classes right now are in rehab centers, and my private clientele, most of them are also dealing with some form of addiction or uh, challenges in their lives, and that's what I notice. Like, people come to me when they're going through transition, when they're having a hard time tapping into peace and ease and freedom. So yeah, so my clientele is mostly around that topic. And I also work with couples and help them find, conflict resolution and find peace amongst themselves, and how the patterns work from the
Mhm.
loving relationship training. I do a lot of work from the loving relationships training. But so you asked me about my tools. So I use
Right.
energy work, and I use theta healing also, because sometimes clients, they hit a wall and they're like, I don't want to breathe, and I've been there, it's like sometimes you're like, I don't want to breathe. And so then I come in from other angles that will help them keep moving forward, and not be, into a shutdown and like isolation and disconnect.
Yeah, so you support them to whatever, remove whatever they need, but through other techniques.
Other methods.
What's the one that you use your hands in your head that you used for me? That was
Exercise.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like these 32 points in your head. It's a hands-on healing work on the brain that is very helpful. It's very helpful to slow down brain activity and help them find a space of ease
mm,
that is available, that's right there, but they can't access by themselves.
yeah. So what I'm noticing is like all this new trend in breath work is how different people are bring in breath work to support them in whatever kind of therapy or coaching that they're doing.
Yes.
Uh, so
Yeah.
which is great. From when I started, which was with you, like around 2005, I guess, or something like that,
Uh-huh.
to today, it's like the word, the breadth, I would say, world or market is like unbelievable. All the different people, all the different teachers,
Yeah,
that weren't just through the internet. What's going on. Uh,
yeah. It has
so
come, it has come mainstream finally.
yeah, which is awesome. And so what do you if you step out into the future, right? Like let's say 2030, which is 10 years. What do you see? What where do you think this whole breath movement is going to go to? Like if you look back, what happened?
I think it's going to be like what yoga is right now. People have their yoga mats, and a lot of people, they know
Yeah.
how, it has become like, oh, I'm going to go, do some stretching. Most people have a yoga mat and they lay down and start to do some movement and stretch. And it's like just natural. I think it's going to come like that. We are just going to be, hey, I'm going to lay down under the tree and breathe for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be normal. It's like you're
Yeah.
not weird, saying I'm gonna go lay down and breathe for 20 minutes because I'm feeling a little congestion in my head.
Yeah. It so and then that would be like tying into the title of like there'll be more people like that are woken up, that are more aware, you know,
Yeah.
and they're using the breath to become more aware in the moment and then relax and use the breath to support them in whatever they need, to move forward instead
Yeah,
of
it's like, when you're feeling uptight, or when you're feeling, overwhelmed, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna go to happy hour and have a drink. I think people are gonna go, oh, I'm gonna go lay down and and breathe for 10 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna listen to my favorite breathwork CD.
yeah, right, absolutely. Or come to the happy hour, breath play happy hour. It's, and learn a little more about the breath. It's like instead of going to the bar and using something else to relax.
Exactly. It's gonna be a tool that's gonna be very like right there. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go lay down, and breathe for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like funny because people say, "Oh, I always, like I'm alive and that, I breathe." So what do you say to people that say, "Oh, I've been breathing for 35 years"? What do you tell them?
I
Eh,
say, I say you haven't been breathing consciously.
yeah,
You have
absolutely.
breathing, on automatic. It's
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's I tell people, yeah, you're not breathing consciously, and the breath has been breathing you for all these years, and 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 you're not breathing really good. Saying like, and we go
Yeah,
through the whole step.
exactly. Yeah. First of all, it's not conscious.
Yeah.
Second, it's probably constricted and limited.
Uh
you
huh.
know and third, there's so much more to it that you're
Yeah.
exposed to. And so that, I really want to answer. Well, you asked me how to define breath work.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is my assistant right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, look. Hi.
Hey, his name is Rumi, and he helps me with every session.
Oh, yeah.
um
Absolutely.
so I want to talk about what you asked about defining breath work, because
Yeah.
I believe that if you define anything, you limit it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you say, oh, just this week I had a client who's like, I don't think I need breath work because I don't have any stress in my life. Well, that's limiting breath work, right? You think that breath work is just for stress. That's one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a tool for so many things. So it can be a spiritual experience. It can be a heart opening experience. It could be so many things. So I try not to define it,
Mm-hmm.
um, and because I don't want to limit it. Because until this day, like it is unbelievable what happens in sessions, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
unbelievable what can happen, and the
Yeah.
miracles and where the breath goes. Like I have no control over it, right? like
Yeah.
like I am holding space, and the breath is the teacher, and it takes the client where it needs to go. If I start a session thinking I want to decrease my client's stress, then I'm limiting the possibility.
Absolutely.
So it's like it's an experience. It is something that you need to give yourself permission to experience. So I try not to define it as just it's just it's just fun.
Yeah, yeah, like play with it, like, and that was a great point about not defining it, like a certain way, because it's so much more, you can use the breath to heal, to create intention, manifest intention, all that, and you can allow the breath to take you on a journey that
Yeah,
you've never been on, so it can go so many different ways, and that
exactly.
was it
That's
was
why I call it breath journeys, like I just tell people it's a breath journey because it is. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go. We're gonna go together.
yeah. Uh, and, and it's right underneath your nose, like you can just breathe. And maybe so, what do you feel the difference between like breathing, like some people have asked me a lot, okay, why through the nose or why through the mouth, or should we breathe through the mouth or should we breathe through the nose? Do you have any thoughts
Well,
around that?
I do, I tell my clients, listen, yes, you can do circular breathing through your nose and it's
Hmm.
powerful and it's great. But because you're right here and you're paying me to hold space for you, if you breathe through your mouth, you're gonna get more oxygen and it's gonna be more expansive. It's gonna expand you more. So take advantage that I am right here and breathe through your mouth so you get more out of your session, you know?
Yeah.
Nose breathing is great, gets you into your heart and it's powerful as well. But I encourage my clients to breathe through their mouth when they're in sessions for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like opens up, and eventually it's mastering both, right? Like, so you can use the mouth for certain things, use the nose, mouth. Uh,
Yeah,
so it's like not get limited by
yeah.
one way, and that's awesome. Is there anything else you want to talk about that will support you, in what you're doing? How can people get a hold of you? Are you doing any special events? Right? Are you writing any more books, or are you writing a book?
Oh no, I really want to do another breathwork CD, and I've been saying that for a couple of years now, and I really want to do that. So I would like to create another breathwork CD. My A Breath of Consciousness is very beautiful, and until this day, I created that in 2008, and I still have people tell me that they breathe with me every day,
Mm-hmm.
from with that CD. And I want to create another breathwork CD that has different affirmations in it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to use questions, empowering questions. But anyways, um, my website is a breath of no a not that one. It's my name. You can reach me through suladepaula.com or Heavenly Peace Coaching. It goes to the same website.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And they can download the CD from there,
yes.
from the website. Okay, great.
Yeah. I also have it 20 minutes of it on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, Heavenly Peace Coaching. I have several. I have at least 5 different breath journeys on my YouTube channel that you can listen to,
Okay.
with music and guidance. But yeah, I mean, I am right here in Delray Beach. I am seeing clients through Zoom and or in person.
Great.
I am available. I am here to serve.
Yeah. And I recommend highly, like if you need some support, to call Sula.
Yeah.
I she coached me for a long time, and I'm in the same world that she is right now. And not only that, today we were playing the same music before we started.
Now that was amazing for you guys listening to. I just, synchronicity is so beautiful. I logged on to the Zoom account to do this interview, and I was playing music on my computer, and Roberta was playing the same song. And it's not a, because we do have some songs in breathwork from our training that I played often, and it wasn't completely random, chant that we've never played together before. So Shiva is powerful, and I think that's part of the energy that breathwork brings, which is bringing in this energy that cuts through heaviness, it cuts through darkness, it cuts through BS, anything that you're trying to BS yourself.
Yeah.
If you're doing breath work and have a coach, you can't get away with it.
No, and that's, one of the things is having a coach, athletes have coach, business people have coaches, and why do they have a coach? Because they hold people accountable and support them in, in breaking through whatever it is, like hitting or playing better golf, whatever it is, everybody has to coach. Same thing with the breath, right? Yeah. Like we're there, we have the experience, we give the space, right? For you to be able to use the breath as a guide to manifest whatever you want to manifest. If you want to, it's your choice.
Yeah.
So, and you're a powerful coach. So you can follow Sula and myself probably in Facebook. You're on Facebook, right? LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, Twitter.
Kevin coaching.
Yeah, and they can find me at Pound L Happy Coach, right? And then please share this episode with someone who might benefit from listening to Sula's wisdom.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. What do you think is a key element for breathing, for breath work? What was one of the key elements for you to turn things around?
It's like, for me, was like being able to give up control, and the ego. Like through the breath, I got exposed to how the ego had a hold of me. And I was able to see that and through that start releasing and opening up and relaxing and letting the light and the divine, like you're saying, right? That peaceful. I was very, very angry guy, from a lot of stuff, trauma and stuff from when I was young, when I was born. And breath work helped me experience all that and be able to release it out of my body, and be able to calm my mind and get clear, and then slowly, go to different levels of consciousness. Yeah. And, I'm so grateful I was able to find, my cousin, Denise, was the one who said, have you ever done breath work? I think you need to do some breath work. And I go, what is that? I was doing yoga, I was doing Tai Chi, I was doing this, I was running, I was doing all kinds of stuff, and then I went to one of your group, breath works, and then since I was getting into energy because of Tai Chi, wow, I was like, by the end of the first session, I was like just feeling all that tingling and energy, but I didn't know that I was releasing stuff, right? But I felt it was like electricity running through my body. I go, oh my God, what is this? And that's how I started. But if I have to like explain what are the three keys, it's that you start becoming more aware of yourself, because by becoming more aware of your breath, where everything comes from, where you're out, you become more aware of your surroundings, right? You become better listener. You start letting go, right? Mm-hmm. So and learning to go through the breath, through the exhale, and you learn those things. And then being able to control the breath to help you move, if you're doing sports or if you want to move some energy, maybe you can move your body and breathe. So you integrate all that, and then your life just shifts. Yeah. You don't let the external control you. Yeah. And sure. And for me, that that it's been like awesome. So I want everybody to, like, if you want to get a hold of Sula, now and thank you for listening today and breathing with us today. Even though we didn't breathe, maybe we can do one breath before we go, Sula. But but I want to know what people's biggest learning from this episode has been, and take a moment and share with us in either in Sula's Facebook page. You want to tell them your Facebook page, Sula?
Heavenly Peace Coaching.
Okay, and we welcome any feedback or suggestions how we can make this podcast even more awesome for you. So remember, always breathe happy and live happy. But before we go, Sula's going to give us one little technique, and maybe we could breathe that people can take with us.
Sure. So close your eyes softly and take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale nose. Good, and just feel your body. I invite you to bring your awareness into your head space, where most of us spend most of the time, in the head. So you're probably already there in your head. And so allow yourself to drop down into the heart. And so bring your awareness into your chest and your heart space. And so breathe into the lungs, expand the lungs, and then let go. Nice. Dropping into the heart, breathe in, expand the lungs, expanding the diaphragm, relaxing. Good. And then another thing we're going to do is just drop to your pelvis and breathe into your hips. And exhale down your feet. Good. Breathe into your pelvis. Exhale down your feet. Go all the way down to the core of the earth and say hello to Mother Nature. Nice. One more thing. Let's bring energy from the bottom of the feet up into our heart. Inhale. And then exhale at the top of your head. Good. And just notice if you have more awareness of your energy field. Are you more in your body? Are you more centered and grounded? Just becoming more aware of the physical body is so important. Embodiment. Okay. How do you feel, Roberto?
Oh, wow.
Roberto is taking a journey right now.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome. So thank you for that. People practice that. I always help, practice 5 minutes in the morning, midday, in the evening, but practice. And you'll see how that breath will support you and everything. So thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, namaste. Have fun. Have a good day.